Hey guys, it's Lane with Tim's Nation. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the Votann that I'm bringing against DJ's Grey Knights. So I'm putting the dev watch list on the shelf for a minute. I'm going to get back to it real soon. Don't worry. I've got some tournaments coming up where I'm going to make sure I'm well practiced with them. But I need to run the Votann a little bit, shake off the dust of these guys, see how bad the points increase hit us. So with the recent balanced data slate changes, there were no changes to our rules. They just increased the points on a few units. The Sagittars went from 100 to 115. The Brokier Thunderkin, the Thunder Buddies went up 10 points for every 3. And then the Hearthguard, the little baby Terminators, they went up a couple points too. I don't remember how many. But yeah, so I have painted some more Sagittars. In the past on the channel, I've only had 2, but I've got 3 more taken care of or painted up here. So we've got 5 Sagittars in the list today. Most folks... well, I heard someone say that, you know, for Votann with the points increases, all it really means is they take 1 less Sagittar. So for other people that are running 6 Sagittars, they just take 1 less. And they still got 5 Sagittars, still really good. I only have 5, so that's what we're going to be using. But I don't think the points increases hurt us too much. Votann just run a ton of different units. It's going to cause a little bit of changing of some lists and things, but there's still have a lot of units on the table. Still have a lot of ability to hit and punch. But DJ has learned a little bit from me, and he's built a Grey Knights list that's about the damage more so than about the scoring. Of course, they're Grey Knights, so they can still pop up and down everywhere, but he's definitely taking a lot of units that can do more damage now, especially because of the balanced data slate increased the ability for the Nemesis Dread Knights to do work, both in shooting and fighting, because it increased the ability of their guns and their, I think, their weapon skill in combat. So it'll be interesting to see how these 2 armies play against each other. I've got a bunch of small units running around the table to do some work, score secondaries, score primaries, and really kind of move block and time up a little bit. Hopefully I have the damage to chew through his units. We're also both have characters that allow their units to ignore penalties, modifiers to their unit's characteristics. So that was, clarified in the balanced data slate update. That was clarified to mean that you can't modify their AP or reduce their damage. So that'll be relevant today because both of us have characters that have that ability, and both of us have a stratagem that allows us to reduce the AP of our opponents when they're shooting us. So we'll definitely see how those come into play today. So let's get into the list and talk a little bit about what I hope it does today, and we'll go from there. All right, let's check it out. All right, as you can see, this Leagues of Votann list still has a bunch of units. The point increases didn't take us down to nothing. Still got a bunch of models on the table. So Leagues of Votann, armory rule is that we use judgment tokens. Anytime an opponent's model that we're targeting has 1 judgment token, we get +1 to hit. And if it has 2 judgment tokens, we get +1 to wound. And then at the beginning of the game, Leagues of Votann get to pick 4 units in the opponent's army and put 2 judgment tokens on each of those units to start things off. They don't have to be on the table. They can be in deep strike or in transports. Doesn't really matter. And then if I kill one of those things that I prejudged, I get some bonus CP. If I kill them in the first battle round, basically in the first turn, then I get 3 CPs if I kill it before my second command phase. So I get 3 CP. Later on in the game, it'll be 2 CP. The last round of the game, I think it's 5 or 1 CP. So I'm not worried about what it is later because I hope to get it in the first turn. Well, maybe not. Grey Knights or Trixie. We'll see. We'll see. So starting off, we have 3 characters. We have the Brokier Iron Master. So the Iron Master is going to be joining the Thunderkin today, and the enhancement he has is the Grim Demeanor. And all this means is that he will be, first of all, his basic abilities, he joins +1 to hit. So even if the target doesn't have a judgment token, they can still be hitting on 3s. And then the Grim Demeanor basically means he can reroll battle shock tests for his unit. But the other big thing is that they ignore modifiers to their characteristics and or any tests or rolls made for them, excluding modifiers to their saving throws. So that means when this unit shoots, DJ will not be able to use true silver armor. And I don't think he has any damage reduction, so it won't apply to it. So we'll see how relevant that is today. Next, we have the Einherjar Champion, the E-Champ. This is my fancy little E-Champ model, the limited edition one. I like the crest over her head. Get a cool pose. So she is rocking the, let's see what enhancement she's got. The Appraising Glare. This is the one where I pick one of my opponent's an objective that they control in my command phase, and then I count it, or any units that are within range of that count as having one additional judgment token for the purposes of when I target them. E-Champ is going to be leading the Hearthguard, of course, because she allows them to reroll their charge rolls, does impact damage on the charge. And honestly, now that I think about it, it might be a good idea to put that Grim Demeanor enhancement on her. I'm going to stick with what I got, giving her Appraising Glare, but making it so that you can't modify the AP or the damage of the Hearthguard might be even better. We'll see. We'll see if I regret it later on. And then third, we've got the Grimnir. I don't think I've played the Grimnir on the channel yet. I've only played him in a couple games. It's a super cool model. He's a little psychic guy, and you know what? Today he's going to be just going out on his own. He's going to be living his own life by himself, riding it along in a little Sagittar, and go out there and see if he can do a little work. Just because I had all the extra points, everybody's got an enhancement, and his enhancement today is Wayfarer's Grace. So all this means is the first time he dies, I roll a dice, 2 up, he pops right back up. That'll be kind of handy because he'll be solo out there trying to do some work, do some damage, score some points. So moving on, we have 2 10-man squads of Hearthkin Warriors. I'm not going to go through all the details of these guys and all the little widgets and doodads that I put on them, all the weapons. I do want to say that I have the missile launchers on these guys, the L7 missile launchers, but I'm actually going to treat them as the High-Las auto rifle because that is an assault weapon. So I'm going to treat that because the only assault weapon they can take. So that's the only thing in this list that won't be WYSIWYG. The L7 missiles will be High-Las auto rifles so that the units can advance and do actions. Other than that, they're just going to be WYSIWYG. Let's see here. Oh, their special ability is that they can sticky objectives. So it's always good to have that on the table, especially when they're kind of fragile and they could die pretty quick. So I want to make sure I still control those objectives, even if the only thing controlling them are the bodies of my fallen kin. So next, we've got, well, for transports, we've got 5 Sagittars, guys. So they're WYSIWYG. So I have the lasers on these things today. The High-Las beam cannons. So they shoot 2 shots, strength 12, AP 3, D6 damage. And they are sustained hits D3. So the idea is take a whole bunch of these guys, and you're bound to roll some 6s to hit and pop off with D3 sustained, which makes those lasers even stronger. Remember, at strength 12 and getting +1 to wound if it has judgment tokens, that means they'll be wounding anything that's less than T12 on 2s, which is pretty strong. The Sagittars special rules that they can advance, and then infantry or anything that's embarked in there can get out afterwards. Next, we do have that 6-man squad of the Brokir Thunderkin, my little Thunder buddies. They'll have the Graviton Blast Cannons. So their special rules when they Overwatch, they hit on 5s, making them a pretty decent Overwatch threat. Today it'll be kind of nice because DJ's got a couple big squads. So they have the Graviton Blast Cannons, which are D6 shots apiece, but they are blast. So I will get a bunch of shots if I go into them, into the infantry. And of course, they're anti-vehicle 2 up. So I will get a bunch of wounds when I'm rolling on, when I'm attacking his Nemesis Dread Knights and Grandmasters. Next, I do have one little 5-man squad of the Chthonian Berserks. Neat. I haven't really used them much in 10th, just because they've fallen so far from where they were in 9th. But I'll throw them in a Sagittar, see if they can get out there and mix it up a little bit, do a little bit of work. It'll be nice to see if they can do a little bit of damage. They're not very durable. They've lost a lot of their special abilities from 9th edition, but we'll give them a chance, guys. We're going to give them a chance. Next, we've got a 10-man brick of the Einherjar Hearthguard. So the Hearthguard special rules, when they are led by a character, they're -1 to wound. This is one of those things that's going to be relevant because DJ has a unit that's going to be ignoring modifiers. So the neg 1 to wound will not matter when his big Terminator or Paladin Brick, whatever it is attacking, because they're led by a character that lets them ignore modifiers. So we'll see if they those two units mix it up today. This one is outfitted with the concussion gauntlets and the plasma guns. So plasma and concussion gauntlets. Of course, they got their grenade launcher on the shoulder. Don't let me forget it. I've played games where I've forgotten to even fire the grenade launchers at all. So we'll see. We'll see if I remember today. Remind me, guys. Come on. And then finally, we've got three squads of the Hurricane Pioneers. I love my little jet bikes. I've got one big 6-man squad and then 2 3-mans. The idea is I really want to kill something turn 1. So with the bike's big scout move and taking that big 6-man bike squad out there, if I can get eyes on something, I can use the stratagem for sustained hits and really wreck one of those prejudged targets and score that CP. The other 2 3-mans, of course, they'll be using their ability to be picked up off the table if they're within 6 inches of the table edge, and they'll be able to contribute some secondary scoring there. Give me some extra mobility, and their damage output is still pretty good, even for a 3-man. They got a lot of little shots in there. So that is the list. All right, guys. So the plan today is to destroy DJ quicker than he destroys me. He's bringing, which is unusual for him, he's bringing a high damage output army. The good thing is that I picked 4 of his units to prejudge. He doesn't really have that many units, so I'm going to be prejudging more than half of his army, I think. He's going to get judged early, and that'll make my damage output into him much more efficient. The plan is throw those scout moves out there and kind of take some board control, making it more difficult for DJ to deep strike with those Grey Knights, being there have the ability to pick up and drop down every turn. Make it a little more difficult for him if I'm blocking out the board. Of course, he has the ability to come in outside of 3 inches, but I'm going to make him spend that CP to do that. Other than that, we're just going to be trying to score secondaries with a lot of the smaller units. You know, the Grimnir might hop out and maybe do a little bit of blasting, but he's more there to score by doing actions, getting into locations, holding objectives, and being generally, a little pain. The same thing with the 5-man split Hearthkin Warriors. I'm just going to get out there. They'll die, but then whatever kills them is going to get judgment tokens. So that's what I'm hoping for today. So follow us over to the battle report. We'll see how these balance updates affect both of our armies, and we'll see where it goes from there. All right. See you there, guys.